We think it's a better process than the vast majority of the RV dealers out there. It's certainly better than what we've experienced when we've gotten work done at other places.
We have a dedicated time assigned for you, and so that your time is spent with consideration in mind, because we want to take care of you when you get here.
Hi, I'm Jeff Hilliard.
I'm Jenny Hilliard.
We own Miller's RV, and we were talking a little bit about how we're different and why we do what we do. We've talked about our background and why we're in the RV industry, but we also wanted to give you an idea of why we do service a little differently.
Right, so what we're going to share with you today is the journey of a service unit. And that's just talking about the path that your unit goes through when it comes in for service.
Absolutely. So one thing we do is we have a very dedicated process, so we know what's going to happen and we can keep you informed. And it starts with when you schedule an appointment, you're going to call in, one of our service advisors is going to schedule an appointment in to go through in detail what your issues are. And so as they're doing that, they're going to go through what your complaints are, if they need to make any notes or take pictures or even put little painter's tape to show where something specifically is, they'll do that so that the technician will know exactly what's going on.
Right, but another thing about that is that we do work by appointment, and the reason is so that when you get here, we have a dedicated time assigned for you, and so that your time is spent with consideration in mind, because we want to take care of you when you get here. So you'll have an appointment, and then, like Jeff said, we'll go through what's going on with your RV and what things need to be fixed.
Yeah, absolutely. And we certainly do try to keep on schedule that appointment. If we run late, we certainly apologize, but we do a pretty good job of staying on track with it. So as you come in and do your drop off, one of the things we're going to do is, as we go through, the service advisor also is going to see if there's any maintenance issues or something you need done. If you haven't had your generator changed recently, your generator oil changed recently, hopefully won't change your generator, or if you need a roof seal or any of those things, they'll see if there's any maintenance that needs to be done.
Right. And then as soon as the right technician is available to take a look at your unit, we'll get it in the shop, get it diagnosed, get parts priced out, and then get back to you with an estimate as quickly as possible. We say 5 to 7 days. It's typically shorter than that, unless there's an extenuating circumstance.
Right. One of the things that we talk about in the Journey of a Service Unit little sheet here shows a couple areas that could slow down the process.
Right.
And those are, if it's a warranty job, then the approval, if it's not a warranty job, we can find out what's wrong, call you and say, here's the repair, here's what's going to cost, let's get it fixed. With warranty, a lot of times you have to send to them, they have to go through their process of documentation and pictures and all of that stuff just to make sure that it's being taken care of correctly, but it does slow it down a little bit. Extended warranty as well slows it down. What's some other things with parts that can slow down?
Just sometimes depending on availability of parts. If we can get them quickly from our distributor, then we can have them in a couple of days. But if it's a special part that's being built by a manufacturer, that'll take a little bit longer.
Yeah, and so I guess to expand on that, if it's a part for your air conditioner, which most manufacturers use, one of 2 or 3, 4 brands, then we can usually get those parts pretty quickly from a distributor. But if it's a cabinet part for your RV, specifically by your RV manufacturer, that is going to take a little longer.
Another thing that sets us apart that made me think of that you just said is that we work on units that are a little bit aged. So in thinking about availability of parts,
sure,
sometimes we're willing to take a look and see if we can help you out with that, but that's another consideration. It can be difficult to find parts for older units.
Yeah, that's true. So there are some dealers that don't work on units past 3 or 4 years, and we'll work on older units as well.
Another thing that's, I think, unique about us is that we will do warranty work even if your unit wasn't purchased from us. If we're certified with that manufacturer to do warranty work, we're happy to help you with that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some manufacturers that'll work with us even though we don't sell their brand, and those we take care of warranty work as well. And sometimes it's through the supplier, from like an air conditioner with Dometic or Coleman, or a Norco refrigerator or Dometic refrigerator. We do warranty work directly on those as well. So another thing, once we get in, another thing we're going to do too is our technician is going to do a safety inspection. We call it a multi-point inspection. He's just looking, one, for safety issues, Are the tires dry rotted? Does it look like there's a leak on your transmission or suspension or any of those kind of things? Looking for any issues, one, that would be dangerous to you, but also that would cause you to break down on a trip, because we have had that happen where we've gone camping and things have broken, and
I would have certainly appreciated if someone could have done something ahead of time to prevent that from happening.
Right. So we're trying to shift to that, where we see and look for something that's like, hey, this looks like it's going to be an issue soon, or hey, this is really, it's going to leave you in a lurch pretty soon, and we want to make sure you get taken care of, because if you're like us, you don't get enough time at the campground or in the RV or traveling, and we certainly don't want to have you spend those times with something not working. As we get the parts and everything in, our technicians are going to get it done, and we really, throughout this whole process, we are doing continually, to this very day, things that we can do to speed it up. So our technicians now no longer have to write out a parts request and bring it all the way up front to the parts department, which doesn't seem like much, but it takes a few minutes and slows down the process. What do they do now?
Well, now our technicians use a tablet. They communicate directly with our parts department, warranty team, all on their tablets. So that's really speeding things up.
Yeah, so they'll send a request in, take a picture, do that, and they're still working on the next diagnosis, and the parts person might already be looking up the part right then. Right. So that speeds it up, and even doing our best to get it in and out and diagnosed as soon as we can, so that while we're looking up parts and that kind of stuff, it goes faster. Once the repairs are done, that's another difference where we have, is because we do our best to make sure the repair is right the first time, but we also put in not one, but 2 checks.
Quality checks, yeah.
Yeah, so the first thing is done is our production manager in the shop. He checks every repair after it's done to make sure it's done. But there's times that he could miss something too, or there's sometimes something breaks after he's looked at it, but he could miss it. And so in addition, what happens toward the end of the process?
The service advisor also does a quality check and goes through all of the issues that you brought up when you brought your unit in, make sure everything's working correctly. Sometimes there's things that come up at that point, and then we're able to get them fixed for you before you take off and have a problem with it.
Right.
So yeah, we're definitely quality checking along the way, and then again at the end before you get here.
Yeah.
One thing I love though is that at pickup time, we schedule you again for an appointment, and that's just out of respect to our customers, because we want to have a time that's designated for you, just like I said at the drop-off time. So when you come to pick up, the service advisor is going to spend time with you, showing you all of the repairs that we made, making sure they're up to your satisfaction, because definitely our goal here is to exceed RV customer expectations. So we want to make sure you're fully satisfied at the end of the process.
Yeah, absolutely. And that active delivery really, it just allows usually the service advisor you checked in with will be the same one going over the repairs you requested, showing you that it's done. And so if something's not done to your satisfaction, we'll know right then. And we can usually, it's very rare that it happens, but if it is, we can make an adjustment right then and take care of it. Right. But that way you know that you're getting the repairs that you requested were done. And that's what we want to make sure it happens before you leave.
And another thing, we mentioned dropping off in your communication with your advisor and picking up in your communication with your advisor. But one thing we didn't mention that I think is a real unique, if you've had service work done at other dealerships, this
communication with your advisor.
Yeah, that might have been a pain point for you, but that won't be with us. We actually communicate at least every 4 days with you, so that you know the process. Sometimes hasn't moved much because we're still waiting on the parts to come in, but we let you know. So you're not at home just wondering what's going on. It's been 2 weeks. That's not how we do things here. So
right, that's definitely
a win.
It's something that would frustrate us or has frustrated us, and we want to make sure that you don't have an experience where you don't know what's going on. So we do our best to make sure that you're kept up in the loop, and it's not just every 4 days, because sometimes we find information out, we're going to let you know, but at least every 4th day, you're going to be getting an update. Yeah. And that really is kind of what we do differently. We think it's a better process than the vast majority of the RV dealers out there. It's certainly better than what we've experienced when we've gotten work done at other places. And we do this because we want to satisfy you. Our focus is on you. Our focus is on helping you enjoy the journey, as we say all the time.
I do want to give a plug, probably you already know, but we're a Winnebago dealer for motorized and towable units. And for the last several years, we've been recognized as a Flying W Service Center, and that award is given to us based on surveys completed by our customers in our service department. So Shout out to our customers. Thank you for completing your surveys, and shout out to our service team. They do
doing a
an
great
excellent job.
Yeah, and we will continue. I will say this, if we mess up with you, I'm so sorry. It is not our intention. And if you do, please feel free to reach out to Jenny or I. Let us know, and we're gonna do everything we can to not only fix your problem, but make sure it doesn't happen again. And that's our focus. When we do make a mistake, is how do we keep this from happening again?
Yeah, we wanna get better every day.
We're here again at Miller's RV to help you
Enjoy the journey.